From Ashland, Oregon, home of William Shakespeare and progressive politics, and broadcasting live from the Southern Oregon University Digital Media Center and the RVTV studio, it's the So Not So Late Night Glamour Dave show, and recorded before a non-existent studio audience with a skeletal crew of certified public access producers. You can expect to see tonight's guests, whoever they may be, the Glamour Dave Comedy Players, and the Rogue Valley Public Access Orchestra. Now, here's your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow.
Well, welcome to another live broadcast edition of the So Not So Late Night Glamour Dave show. I'm your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow, and so we're having a special evening this evening with our planned guests. To begin with, my sidekick from the last show, Cassandra Wass, isn't able to be here this evening, so I brought my mother on to host as my host sidekick for the evening. So let's bring my mother out, Dorothy Nienow.
I'm so anxious to be here.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Okay. So my wonderful mother's the evening sidekick for me, so she's going to be helping with the interview this evening, and so
we'll do our best.
that's right.
Okay.
So just sit down, and so for this evening's main guest, I have Grace Kent. She is a former student here at the university who recently graduated. She also was a student worker here at the Digital Media Center, and she does some aerial acrobatic routines that are really cool, and she's going to be doing a routine this evening after we do our little interview with her. So Grace, you want to come on out? Thank you, Grace, for coming on. So, Grace, I thank you for coming on the show. We'll talk a little bit about your life here at the university before as you graduated, and we're going to talk about your burlesque work and your aerial acrobatic work. So, sit on down here, and we'll get the interview started. Alrighty. Okay, come on.
You want me to help you with that? You got it?
Yeah, I think I got it.
You got it.
Yeah, alrighty. So, Grace, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here with both of you.
Yeah. So I've known you for like the last year plus.
Yes,
Because when I first started as a producer here, you were a student worker here at the Digital Media Center, preparing to graduate from the university. And so you just recently did that?
Yes,
Yeah.
in June.
Yeah. So what was it that you were studying when you were a student here?
Yeah, so I was a theater major, and I also had a gender studies minor.
Okay.
And so that's what I was doing here for the last 3 years, and then I was able to work here for the whole 3 years.
Yes.
I immediately needed a job,
Yeah.
and as a student worker like we do,
Right.
and I came here and opened a lot of possibilities. So.
Yeah, well, you've helped me at times on past show productions in the past year, so I thank you for that assistance.
Yeah.
And so in the course of this past year, as I've gotten to know you, I've learned that you do burlesque performances.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
This is exciting.
Yeah, and you perform as Velvet Thorn.
Yes, I do.
Right. Now, I know that the term Velvet Thorn, that's kind of like a thing in the burlesque community, and I've seen that name elsewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just my performer name
Right.
that I came up with.
Yeah.
There are other velvets. There are other
Yes, there seems to be a
thorns.
variety of velvet.
There's a vanity thorn. There's a velvet St.
Yeah.
Clair.
Yeah.
So we all have kind of a different persona when it comes to burlesque.
Right. And until I met you in this past year, I wasn't even really aware that there was much of a kind of a burlesque community going on here in Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
But there seems to be quite a few theater productions of burlesque throughout the year.
Yeah, we have a monthly show, or Hell's Gate Burlesque, or Southern Oregon Burlesque is the troupe that I go around with, and we mostly perform in Grants Pass, and we have a monthly show there every fourth Thursday.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
and then the other things kind of trickle in, a show here, a show there, but this is our thing that Miss Darby Doll has been producing for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
And-
where did your interest in this all start? Because it's fascinating.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I've seen like you do the aerial acrobatic practicing here in the studio, and I've seen some of your video clips that you've put up, and I've just been like amazed that you got the courage to do what you do, and it's an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah. Well, when I was pretty young, I went to a Waldorf school, and there was a circus program there.
Okay.
And so I grew up at a very young age watching the older girls do trapeze and do the Spanish web and aerial silks and stuff like that. And I did more of like the tumbling and trampoline stuff.
Right.
And then I started to get into it when I was about 20. I thought, oh, there's this pole dancing studio that's doing these silks classes. I should get into it. So I actually started doing silks before I did burlesque.
Right,
And
okay.
so it's been about 3.5 years, and it's been a long process of building up strength and building confidence, and there's a lot of movement and dancing in it. So it's been a long process, but it's an amazing thing. I love doing it.
Well, that school, to have that experience and have that offered is really unusual, because I don't remember going to grade school and we had anything like that offered. So to have the experience to explore your creativity, and you come out of it with this talent and desire of something you love to do.
Yeah, it was definitely a privilege to be exposed to that.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I will appreciate that for a very long time. I know someone in Sonoma County where that school is who also went to SOU, and she's teaching now at the circus program there. So it kind of tends to come full circle. I'm sure that I will be teaching aerial silks to kids one day too. So
Yeah, well, that's an awesome, thing to think that you can, experience this, you can do this, but at some point, you'll have the opportunity to go and give back and, teach another generation.
yes,
the skills.
definitely.
Yeah, well, it certainly has to be a very high confidence builder, I would think, to get to the point where you're at now in terms of what you do with your routines, and to feel to feel safe in doing what you're doing, and just to have that confidence and courage just to get in the silks and do that, because I watch you and I'm just like, oh man, there's no way I can even think about doing that. So
See, I'm the opposite. When I watch other people do it, I'm thinking, how can I do that? I want to get in there right now. And it's dangerous because you really can hurt yourself doing this stuff. But it inspires me when I see other people perform.
Yeah, and so after the end of our little interview here, then you're going to do an example of your aerial routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we look forward to seeing that. Yeah, and the fact that we're doing this live, is kind
Well,
of.
I'm a theater person, so that's what I do.
Yeah. So now that you've graduated, what's your plans going forward in terms of career direction that you want to take?
Yeah, so I am probably going to go back to the Bay Area, and I really love theater. I've been doing a little bit of media dabbling here and there, but I think my love and my heart is in theater, so I really want to see if I can start directing some plays, or at least assistant directing, or trying to see how the community is.
Right.
out there because there is a lot going on. And
Yeah, well,
yeah.
you know, the Bay Area and San Francisco, I mean, in my mind, that has to be like kind of like a bit of a burlesque capital as well in terms of opportunities in that direction.
Yeah,
right?
it does have a lot of burlesque, not at the same caliber as LA or New York,
Right.
but there's definitely a thriving community in San Francisco
Yeah,
and Oakland.
yeah.
Well, you certainly, you know, have gained a lot of knowledge and experience of your time in your theater arts, plus working here at the studio,
Yeah.
seeing all the programs produced and the people come in and how everything works together. So you got a broad field of knowledge when you
yeah.
go out and
I like
know,
being a
start
part
that-
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
yeah, that's one thing that I've enjoyed here. Tending to be a homebody, you know, it's kind of fun to get out and gives you something to do. And
Yeah, creativity, making art, connecting with people. That's what I am all about, whatever form
yeah,
it
you'll
is.
do well. You'll do well in whatever you do.
Yeah, I have hopes.
Yeah, so now the aerial routine that you're doing, how long is that? Because you've got your music piece that
Yeah,
we
it's
got
about 2 minutes.
Okay, about 2 minutes. All right, and so at the so at this point, we have I do a little routine at the end of our little my interviews. So you have the option of we can have an awkward moment, and mind you, this is all a complete ripoff of Craig Ferguson to a degree. So we can have an awkward moment. We can toot your own horn, and I've got here in my little box of tricks, I have a cheap plastic horn.
Nice.
And
He
so-
comes prepared.
That's right. And the blue one's mine.
Okay.
Blue's my
I
color.
can see that. Yeah.
All right. Because I'm a bluesy kind of a guy, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
So you got your choice of multiple colors.
Okay.
And so you could choose to toot your own horn for a moment, or you can go for the small cash prize. Now, the small cash prize is a little baggie of 100 pennies. Okay?
Nice.
And you never know, there might be like a really rare penny in
Yeah,
there.
it could help pay off my student loans.
You
right.
never know.
In order to
Got this.
win the small cash prize, you have to answer correctly a trivia question. And my categories for tonight's show are arts and literature or science, nature, and technology. So you pick your category. I read you the trivia question, and if you correctly answer the question, you can win that baggie of 100 pennies.
All right.
And as an aside, that particular bag of pennies has come from pennies that mostly I've picked up because I always
Yeah,
always
so
say
there's a lot of
someone
really lucky pennies
so
right there.
someone
All right.
is
Cool.
thinking about you. Someone who's passed on is leaving you a message. So every one of those pennies has a message behind it,
Okay.
Yeah.
and a lot of luck, hopefully.
Okay,
So-
well,
so-
I want to toot my own horn because I
Okay.
feel like I don't get to do that enough.
Okay,
We should
well,
all be doing that.
all right, so you have your choice of color, and you get to keep the horn too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm going to go with red.
Okay.
'cause
All
that's
right.
my spirit color.
Yeah. So let's
might be
let's see how
bad.
let's see how good we
Okay.
are here tooting our own horns.
Whoa!
Wow, that's pretty good. I can't even get close to
Yeah,
that.
we got a ringer.
That's all I can do. That's all I can do.
You're getting musical. That's way better than me.
Very good.
All right, way to go, Grace. Yeah, that's a great toot your own horn performance. Okay, so at this point you can do your thing.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Just get rid of that.
Okay, this is going to be exciting.
Grace. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that seems that looks like very much like a very physical workout as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a physical workout.
Yeah. Well, I'm really grateful for you coming on and to talk about your work and what your future is going to be. And if I tell you, if this show ever gets picked up by network, I will make sure that you're like a regular part of the crew and you can just hang around on the set for each show. So
Yes, just doing your aerial dance.
Yeah.
yeah.
Entertaining.
Yeah. So God, Mike, where are we at in the timing?
18 minutes, Dave.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think this would be a good time for my message to Garth Brooks. Except I don't have my script.
You don't have your
I
script.
don't have my script with my notes for my songs to. So I think Joseph is coming in with my script notes, and we'll get this done. This is live, people. This is what Thank you, Joseph.
Yay,
yes, thank
Joseph.
You. Yeah.
Lifesaver.
Alrighty, yes. Okay. So, God, Mike, if you want to bring up the message to Garth Brooks graphic. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, Garth, this is my latest message to you for the next theme park suggestion I have for your Sirius radio program. And my theme park suggestion is being all-American. So my songs for the theme park that you should do are All-American Girl by Carrie Underwood, American Honey by Lady Antebellum, and All-American Kid by, guess who, Garth Brooks. So that would make for a really great theme park on your Sirius radio show. Although so far, Garth, this is like message number 5 to you, and I haven't seen one damn message theme park done yet on your radio show. And I keep sending you the video clips, and so far no one's gotten hold of me yet from your group of people. And I keep waiting for one of my really great theme park ideas to get played on the radio.
Well, and I want to say, Garth, I love you. You're awesome. But my heart belongs to Elvis. He's my main man. And if you'd only play more Elvis songs, then I wouldn't have to switch the station to Elvis music versus Garth when my son is driving. So let's hear a little more Elvis.
Yeah, a little bit of Partridge Family too. That would be kind of, they had some good music back in the day when I was a kid. They're right up there with the Monkees, in terms of quality TV band music. So what the hell? If Garth, if he can play Monkees music, you can play some Partridge Family music.
Yeah.
So just saying, kind of flesh it out a little bit more. You got a nearly perfect radio station going, but there's a
That
little
would
bit
just
of
put it, over the edge to perfection. We'll wait to see if we hear from you.
Yeah. All righty. So now what's the time, God, Mike?
We're 20 minutes into the show.
Wow, we got another 8 minutes to go.
Okay, I was going to ask now, when will you be making your trip to the Bay Area? Are you going to be here for a while, or are you going to be leaving soon?
Yeah, it will be the end of the year. So December, hopefully I'll be moving. That's when my birthday is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to get that, I want to get everything into place before that happens, and Christmas and,
All over with,
all
and the
of
new
it.
beginnings,
Yeah,
new beginnings.
yeah, New Year's beginnings. That's what I want.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, well, now that we have been kind of introduced to this, now I want to go see the shows. I think it's so awesome.
Yeah, and I have a show coming up next week at the Levity Circus Collective at 9 p.m. And it is on Hersey Street, so it's right in Ashland, super close by.
Yeah.
And I know they're having another show on Saturday at 8. But the one on Friday is a little more mature, late night audience.
Yeah.
So people will really be able to express themselves a little more.
Yeah, right,
A little more that way. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it'll be fun. So
Oh,
you should
yeah.
come if you know, if you're available.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we should be.
Yeah, well, you did a show in the spring that I came to.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you were
and
there.
that was really a really great show to see. I mean, it was like that was kind of like my very first ever burlesque show that I'd ever been to.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, you gotta move up there. There's Dita Von Teese. There is a million burlesque shows.
Oh yeah, I mean,
going on.
I've been kind of, I've been having, worked as a glamour fashion photographer in the past. I mean, I'm kind of familiar a little bit with the burlesque history, a little bit, and familiar with Dita Von Teese.
Yeah.
She's always been like one of those models that I'd love to photograph.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean everyone would.
Yeah. So, but it just never. I just never until I met you last year. I just never really knew that there was like this burlesque community thing going on here in Southern Oregon. So it really was kind of an exciting thing to see, and I was really impressed with the show that you put on.
Yeah, and the show that I did was more of a student run kind of thing.
Right.
So we have a completely different thing going on with Hell's Gate Burlesque or Southern Oregon Burlesque.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm really the only student who's in that troupe performing with them at the moment. We're hoping
Well,
that,
that's an awesome
Brent,
experience for
I
you.
definitely want some more students to get involved and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of different age ranges and like women from different backgrounds that I'm performing with. So it's really cool. We're small, but we're mighty. We're a mighty community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dave and I have been so busy between my working and caring for his father, and then we cared for my sister, and so I was talking to him, a few nights ago. I said, we've just got to start getting out because we just didn't go anywhere. We weren't able to.
Yeah,
And I said, there's so much theater going on these type of things. We've really got to now take this opportunity and explore.
Yeah, especially
And
you're in a
discover
theater
what the
town.
valley. Yes,
Yeah.
I
You
know.
have no excuse.
I
You have
know.
Emmy or I don't know, Tony. What are those awards? Those awards,
Yeah.
it's some next level theater.
Yeah,
right
no,
at your
there's a really
fingertips.
great, there's a really great, strong acting community around here for sure. And my work here at the studio and the people that I've connected with through my shows and has got me introduced to the local acting community and making me familiar with the different theaters around. And so it's really been an exciting thing to discover. I mean, while I was caring for my father, you're kind of like in a kind of like a real zone of just caring and not having the time to really go out and do much. So it's really been an exciting thing to discover.
Yeah, and I've kind of dipped my toe in acting a little bit with Cafe Girls.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
my mother's
I'm
got
just
an
having
IMDb
fun.
profile, so.
Yeah, I'm just, kind of expanding and moving outside my comfort zone a little bit.
definitely.
So it's good.
Great.
Doesn't matter what age you are.
No,
Good
it
to do that.
doesn't. Absolutely doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, we got like a couple minutes left here, God Mike?
1 minute.
Oh, okay. Well, it's time to wrap up. So I want to thank Grace for coming on the show and doing your aerial acrobatic. I want to thank my crew for helping. And we have watch for the next segment coming up here just in a few minutes. And we'll have another fun show here this evening. So I thank you all, and we'll see you here soon.
Let's stretch it out a little. Let's talk about something.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you suggest, God Mike?
Let's talk about the fabric that she uses.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's a nylon tricot that I use, and it's pretty sturdy. It has a lot of width. Obviously, you could see when I
Yeah.
stretched all the way out. And then it's about 9 yards. And
Okay.
what I do is, this is a hammock and the hammock fixture, and then they also have the other silks that dangle, like on the free tissue, the 2 tissues that people use to wrap themselves in. And that's the 2 different kinds of ways that I've seen people use silks. But in terms of aerial fixtures, there's
The cleaning lady
a lot
called
that you
in
can
sick
do.
today.
Oh,
You're gonna
really?
Turn the lights off.
Aw.
Well, I guess, like my crew will just have to suffer a little bit, and we're going to have to, like, you know, clean up.
Well, I hope
that.
she gets better soon.
Yeah.
But you were explaining about the tissues, and I would love to see that, you know, to see how that works, because you wrap yourself in those when you're twirling, and it adds a whole new element.
It's really nice. And then if you come next weekend,
We can see that.
people doing that.
Well, they use different colors in the tissues.
Yeah, there's different colors. Yeah.
Oh, how pretty, yeah.